that you do will make me stop loving you.
Hey guys, welcome back to my channel where I'll be doing another episode recap for today's Days of Our Lives. So we start off the first scene where we see Abigail and Chad, right? So Abigail, I couldn't hear the last part of the audio with them, but what she's trying to say to Chad is that she doesn't want to move out. She just thinks he needs to move out, because she's not ready to go over to see their kids together, and it just would be too much. It would be traumatic and yada yada yada, right? So he's hesitant about that because he doesn't want to leave her around his family members and given their whole histories and how they behave with each other. He just doesn't want her, but he's trying to protect her and all of that, and he just doesn't see how that can work. So she's like, so what is the next option, right? So he was gonna say he was gonna book her in the Salem Inn, and then she's like, she doesn't want to go in an apartment by herself. So eventually he gave in and he said, okay, you can stay here. She's like, I believe they'll be on their best behavior. I should be fine. She did inform Chad that Gabby did tell her about her past history with Stephen, how Stephen take advantage of her and all that. So he's like, that was my story to tell. It wasn't for them to really tell you about that. I was trying to protect you. And I'm like, Chad, you need to just, lower it down a bit. He also told her about his past relationship with Stephanie and how that went badly with the kids and how they were affected. So he doesn't really want that to happen another time around. So he eventually gave in and packed his stuff and went out. So we see Stephen and Gabby, right? EJ is also there. They were talking about, Stephen's affair with Ava and how he could make a choice like Ava. So anyways, Gabby was overhearing them and how EJ, would even though he doesn't really like Gabby either, he would be her friend. Anybody that's an enemy of Ava, he's friends with and all that. So she comes in and she's saying I couldn't help but overhear what's going on. So again, she reminds Stephen that I'm taking you for everything you got, and she already started to plant the seed because she told Connie to go over to the bistro and set up the alarm, just trying to make things worse for Stefan at this point. So he tried to make a case, tried to plead his case and say, Gabby, I'm sorry. So she's like, no, stay over your side. And his phone was ringing on her side, and she just threw it to him, and he got a call from the bistro to check out the fire alarm. So anyways, it leaves Gabby and EJ to talk, but we'll talk about that later on. So we see Stephen go over to the bistro to take care of the smoke alarm thing, and he runs into Ava. So he's like, everything at this point is just trying to ruin my evening, and she's like, only one person can ruin your evening, and that's gonna just be for the rest of the days to come. So he's like, no, Gabby had nothing to do with this, I was just with her. So she's like, maybe it's her assistant Connie, because Connie told me on my past running with her that she was going to do something for Gabby, so maybe it had to do something with the smoke alarm. So he's like, maybe you're right, because Gabby has been acting pettish here, so start using tape to have his and her sections in the mansion. So at this point, I truly believe it. So anyways, she did mention to Stefan about, Connie actually not being fired as how Melinda wanted to do so, because, she defrauded the resume and all that, but it didn't happen. So she, Kristen was trying to get through to Melinda and all of that, but, Melinda just took a leave of absence, which is just, it just seems odd. So she's like, it's none of my business. I shouldn't care, but it does seem odd. So we see Stephanie in her room. She's dancing or whatever she's doing there. So she gets a knock at the door, and it's Jada. So Jada is over there to deliver the urn to Stephanie, and the urn had Everett's ashes in it. So she's like, she was on her way to see Rafe, and she got a a call from the funeral home to collect the urn. So she just, decided that, Stephanie should have it. And, they begin to start talking about a lot of things Jada has been dealing with, like, Brady being convicted, or well, he's been charged for Sarah's hit and run. And, she still think that there's a missing piece to it, because, he still can't remember if he was the one who did it. And then she's also talks about, Rafe's case, and, the more time that he has not wake up, the less chance he will survive, or all of that. So she's just really stressed out about it. So Stephanie's just there to offer some support, some comfort to her at this time, right? So Jada ended up leaving to go to the hospital, check on Rafe. And Leo comes in, and he has some script or paper to give to Stephanie, I guess for the PR release and all that. And on the paper it was all kind of fictitious things, like how he won many awards, award-winning journalist and all that. Leo is. So anyway, she's like, this can't be used. Conversation changed to Leo seeing the urn, and he's like, is that who I think it is? And she's like, yeah, it's Everett's ashes. So she said that she wanted to do a small funeral, some going away for him, but there wasn't much people that knew of him or knew about him. So she asked Leo if he wanted to come, since that he used to be his boss. So he's like, it's not really my thing. And she's like, neither am I or anybody, but it's really just to support. So he's like, what about his friend Connie? So she's like, who is Connie? So he's like, I met her the other day, and she said that she and Everett is real close. So Stephanie said that she would reach out to him, because she never really knew about this person. So it just seems strange to her. So let's get back to EJ and Gabby, right? Because Gabby is just trying her best to seduce EJ, sleep with her enemy. So once Stephen went out, and she was on the phone, I think with someone regarding the condition of her brother, and visiting him the next day. So she went off the phone, and he's like, I wish I could say sorry for Ray, but I really don't care about him. And I'm like, EJ, that's so cold of you. But anyway, she's like, that's really low, especially for you. So anyways, that we're so alike, we're cutthroat, we're ruthless, smart, good looking, all them things. So she tried to list out the qualities. So he's like, I can think of less, attractive qualities. So then, she's like, at this point, I'm trying to like get over the hurt with Stefan and Ava, and you're trying to get over Nicole. And besides, Nicole really didn't want you from the beginning. She always wanted Eric, and now they're together in Paris with their baby and everything. So he's like, how could I even forgive you? Because you kind of uproot my life, you ruined my marriage, all this. And she started listening to what he did regarding sending her to jail and all the other things. So he's like, you guys took away the business and all that. So tit for tat. So down to the bottom of it, she's like, listen, like, we have a lot of frustration, we want to just hurt back the people that hurt us, like, let's go do this. So he leaned in, and I thought he was gonna kiss her at first. So he's like, you're not my type. So she's like, neither are you, but listen, like, we have this pent up frustration, might as well. So we see Ava outside the pub again, and she's trying to get through to Melinda and say, Melinda, we really need to talk. So it's about Connie. So I guess she's having her suspicions, and she really want to find out what's going on. So speaking of Connie and Melinda, right? So Melinda is still tied up, and she figures out that Connie is actually the one that stabbed Lee, because remember she had the tea with Connie, but she didn't really remember at first because she was drugged. So now it's wearing off, and she's remembering everything Connie said. So she's trying to get out of the rope before Connie get back, because at that point Connie was out doing some errands. So Connie come back, and Connie's like, what you think you're doing? So she's like, I'm just trying to itch. So she's like, speaking of itch, I think I helped Gabby with her itching problem, and it's a final step in Gabby's marriage ending and all that. So I'm pretty pleased with myself. So Melinda decides to play a game with Connie, trying to work her way around to let Connie admit the truth. And she ended up telling her that she was responsible for Everett's death, Rafe stabbing, and Lee stabbing all in one. So, At this point, Melinda is terrified because, Connie's like saying, if it wasn't for Lee, like, you would have been gone a long time. You should know that I'm capable of doing anything, right? And I could get rid of people who are in my way, and that includes you. So she gets the text from Ava because she has Melinda's phone. So at this point, Melinda is terrified because she doesn't know what Connie's gonna be up to. So Stefan heads back to the mansion, and he's knocking at the door, trying to beg Gabby, just to forgive him yet again. And he's like, listen, you can pull all the stunts, you can, turn on the smoke alarm, you can tape up the whole of the house, but I'm still gonna love you. I'm still gonna fight for us, right? So anyways, we go on to the next scene, right? So while Stefan pouring out his heart on the other side of the door, Gabby and EJ just tearing off their clothes, heading into bed. Like, Gabby's like, okay, you're not gonna see me down for long. So anyways, I'm gonna take advantage of this. So I listen, I am not mad at all for that. It is what it is, So yeah, they ended up in bed. So that is it, guys. I'm looking forward to see how Stefan is gonna feel, but he should know payback is a mother, right? So I hope you guys have a great Labor Day weekend. I will see you guys next week. Hope you all have a blessed and safe Labor Day weekend. Don't forget to like, follow, subscribe to my channel. Bye.